Hey, welcome back to another episode to Life of Living Well. My name is Richard and I'll be your anchor today. So, without taking much of your time, let's dive into the topic that I have for you this week. This week, we're looking into hope. What makes some people very hopeful? So, this kind of people, we call them hopeful individual or hopeful person. Would you say you are hopeful? So I hope by the time I finish this podcast, you may find one or two things that you can relate to. But as we normally do, each of these podcasts also have an article attached to it. If you like to sign up for our article that we release weekly, you can do that through the website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. So you can sign up to receive the article, or you can just read it through the website if you have the time. So let's dive into it. So we normally start with one inspiration before we broaden the whole topic. So this week, I'm starting from inspiration word from Winston Churchill that said, all the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. So today we only just focus on hope. So I just want to talk and elaborate hope and how we can use it to make ourselves become even more better as a human being. It is very hard to make our imagination, aspiration to come true. Neither possible to come and overcome adversity like phoenix. So in the world today, hope is built outside of us, which is very shaky ground that can be put under your feet anytime. It could be based on the money that we have in the bank. It could even be based on our investment. It can be based on the kind of partner we have, or the family we have, or the children that we have, or the job that we have, or the kind of friend that we have. We build a lot of hope around it. What happens is all these things can easily be taken away from us. And this kind of hope is actually make us more vulnerable, because our dependency on it makes sure that your self-worth was based on that. So, have you ever wondered why some people triumphant in the face of difficulty? This is a question that I asked myself when I was putting the particular episode together. Why some people, despite the difficulties, always come across as triumphant. Many years ago, an old friend of mine looked around and said to me, "You are so happy and you are so lucky, you have no problem." The difference is that this particular friend, she is always kind of come up with one issue upon the issues. That she has an issue with the family, with the people that she work with, or she their relative. It's always one issue, or ex-boyfriend, and then she comes to you and she wanted to get comfort by expressing her distress. Then she will come to the conclusion and said, "Oh, you are so lucky, you have no problem." Everyone has challenges. Some people talk about it. Some people deal with it with confidence. Some people focus to something more higher than the challenges that they have. And others completely collapse or give up in the face of adversity or challenges. But hope shows its magnitude in people's lives in different ways, but produce the same results. So you see people that embrace hope in their pattern of life, they come through of those challenges and difficulties in such a way that derive respect for people that know them. Someone said, you don't have to wish that you don't have a problem. Wish that you are better, that you can handle it, you can overcome it. This individual could show up as a person that is persistent and resilient in the face of setback. It is not something you could be born with, because if you only just born being optimistic, then it means some people are born being pessimistic. That's a view. That view is very challenging. It's not solid. People have changed their attitude, they've changed their habits, and that's also changed the way they perceive and view things. The most challenging for a lot of people is to change their habits, is to change their attitude. Because if you can't change your attitude or your habit, you cannot really change your life. And the older you become, it's even more tougher and really hard to do. So it is not something you could be born with, but learn and develop hopeful attitude. For example, just imagine two architects sent to pick a plot of land. One only see bush and forest and the impoverished of few villages that surround the land, and he cannot imagine any prospect come out of the land. Another one look into the land, look into opportunity that would be for a brewery, manufacturing school, international company. Think about the kind of income that people that live there will have and how much they will pay back in tax to support the community and the nation. And they come up with a wonderful ideas and introduce it to the people in authority, and they back him up with funds. Today, the place become a mega city in one nation and attract 20% of the fund of the GDP of the country. So, if you ask me, what is different between these two architects? One, they both have the same education, they both qualification, the same experience, but their attitude, one is hopeful about the chances of turning something that look not ready to become something that everyone want to be part of it. Hope is the thing that enforces confidence in you that you will be fine again after that nasty divorce, loss of Annie, and in a few months or years, indeed, you are fine again. Nothing builds confidence like hope. You can say, even think about the sport. When a team is always winning, they seem like they have more than 11 players on the pitch. A football team. But they were experiencing confidence. The opponent is already lost before they play them, because they probably play not to concede the goals, and they end up conceding goals. When you are hopeful, you also come with a lot of confidence, which also help you to make your dreams come true. So, what are the few benefits of hope? So let's examine it together. Yes, it is true. Certain people radiate a positive aura. They smile, and people conclude that they have no difficulty because of the way they carry themselves. It could be because of the characteristics such as this. So let's look at the characteristics associated with the person that is hopeful. Awake. Feelings of wonder are part of being human. And people that are hopeful also create their experience such as traveling, walking in nature, and even slow down to absorb their environment. Number 2, they embrace uncertainty. Will you say that you are calm even when you are uncertain about your future yourself? A friend was telling me things that have been happening in their life recently. One of the things is that they decided to buy a new home, and it was during the hike in the interest rate, and he was concerned, but he was calm, he was relaxed, he was believed that it's their time, and he was so sure that things will work out for them. And he was doing his bit, he was earning extra more, he was tight up their budget, he was focused on one goal at a time. He has a lot of goals. He told me that he was focused on one goal at a time, and he was putting, and his partner, his wife, they were putting a budgeted amount of money into their savings, and the bank approved the mortgage, but with a high interest rate. And also, when the mortgage now gone through, the builder decided that the house that they're building for them is going to be 3 months late, so which means that their mortgage will be lapsed. They have to start paying the mortgage 3 months before the property ready. So conveyance told them what to do, that they should make sure that the lender can extend it. So he have a chat with their broker, and the broker said yes, the lender can extend it. So a month to the time where they have to execute the mortgage, and the property itself is not ready on the 3 months after then, and he was just trusting faith. He was just believe that things will work out for them well. And he was telling me this is the pattern for the last 2 years for him. And even though when his wife seemed to be distressed, he found a way to calm her down and said, don't worry, this thing is a reason for this, and this will work out for us for growth. And it was. And the end of the story that it was. So they called the lender, and the lender, they submitted another application, and the lender approved it, and also reduce the interest that the initial interest that they have. The new interest now lower more than what they had before, which saved them around £450 monthly on their mortgage. So sometimes delay like that could make a lot of people have anxiety, not able to sleep, worry about what to do, panicking, and even making a wrong decision. But when you embrace the uncertainty, and you not only just folding your hand, you do your bit that you can do, you surrender the rest, things always work out the way that beyond your imagination. Sometimes it might take you to where you don't want to go, but I'm telling you, that's where you need to be. But if you have to choose by yourself, you probably not choose that path. So embracing uncertainty. When you begin to embrace or living as an hopeful individual, you certainly will embrace uncertainty, because the life himself is so unpredictable. In life, you will go through several phases, and it is mostly how you react to it that will determine your feelings and very likely the outcome. Number 3, trusting. Hopeful people also have trust in the process as much as they take right thoughts, imagination, and right actions. The outcome is surrender to the universe. But most important, taking the right action, it is a choice of the hopeful individual. Number 4, collaboration. They look for mutual benefit and often evolve in something higher than themselves. So they don't seek competition with others, but only with themselves by becoming a better version of who they used to be. They also give part of their resources to charity or mentorship. Persistence, which is number 5. They know fully well that doing difficult things when it's easy is always a better approach. They don't wait on the things difficult. They look at things that is complex. They break it down into the smaller chunks. And they focus on one thing at a time. They start with the most important part and they move across the line. They don't look at things and say, oh, wow, this is a mountain. They look at the mountain and say, where is the first step of the mountain? This is what I mean. Like, they start what is difficult when it's simple. They don't wait until it becomes difficult. And that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people put themselves in a position where they will be easily give up. They choose the battle that is not their battle. They don't really know who they are or their attention. They say yes to a lot of things. And they wonder why they get lost throughout the year, that they can't really say, this is what I wanted to do this year. How far have I gone with it? I know someone that always said to me, they go with the flow. They throw that word after years of knowing this individual. There's a power in that word, but it's actually living the opposite of the words. Is not having a clarity of goals, what you really want to make happen. So you just go with whatever that please your immediate emotional needs. So 1,000 journeys will require them to take one step at a time. So which end up making them even very patient in engaging with their goals and endeavor with internal motivation. Lastly, imagination. This is an art that hopeful individuals embrace to create direction or goals in their life, using several tools to promote the experience. Napoleon once said, imagination rules the world. To imagine and be able to act on it positively define you as a hopeful person. So, to bring this podcast to the end, I'm leaving you with these few words. These are the few qualities associated with the individual that is hopeful in their approach to life. You can become hopeful again. You can set a goal. And you can also act on your goals. Contrary to belief, a hopeful person imagines a goal and act on it. With this simple exercise, you will develop the habit of being hopeful. Lastly, accept the unknown. We live in a world where what you say is what you get. There are many things that are not visible to the eyes, that exist and are real as well. For instance, a science student, atoms exist and have many impacts on our existence. But for non-science students, it makes no sense. Embrace the unknown, and your whole virtue improves and increase in nurturing. So the question is, are you a hopeful person? So tell us traits you know in yourself or others that shows them an hopeful person. I hope this podcast helps someone. And if you'd like to write to me directly, you can contact me through our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. You can also send me an email through that form, and I will make sure I get back to you as soon as I could. I hope this podcast helps someone. Until we meet again, please stay safe and have a wonderful week ahead. Ciao.